Welcome to Conversations with My Real Friends. I'm Jennifer. I'm here with my friend Robert. Robert is an insurance agent, and we're going to be talking about when you have to make a claim.
Oh, yeah.
Most of us try to avoid making claims whenever possible because we're so worried about our rates going up or being canceled.
Yep.
Right? But we have insurance to be able to make claims.
Yes.
Right? So when should a homeowner make a claim, and how does that process work?
Well, really, there's I'm going to classify this as two different types of claims.
Yes.
One is a traditional claim, and then I'll talk about a catastrophe claim.
Okay.
Because really, there's two different worlds when you talk about those two.
All right.
The traditional claim is, an example, is a pipe break in the wall.
Right.
We have wind storms and things of nature. The roof comes apart from a wind damage. Theft, liability, these are traditional claims.
Right.
Really what happens is, first and foremost, as a consumer has the responsibility to inform their insurance company.
Right.
So what I see with consumers a lot is there's timing in this.
Yes.
And you could probably do a whole segment on timing.
I could do a whole segment on
timing,
claims.
claims and timing, with the legality of this.
Yes.
But really the reason why I talk about the traditional claims is, usually most consumers now, we've been really working with the education piece of having what's called higher and higher attachment points to or responsibility.
Yep.
Where claims, deductibles used to be $200 or $500. We're now seeing a lot more of the $5,000 or $10,000 claims.
Right.
And why it's important to know this is, it's really important to know that there's some rights as a consumer to be able to defend themselves. If you had a pipe break and you have a $5,000 deductible on your house, well, my recommendation to all consumers out there is to first of all find out what is the damage.
Right.
Have an estimate, get an estimate. Because what you don't want to do is have a $3,000 damage on a $5,000 deductible, because then they mark it, because in California, if you open up a claim, or for those out there, if you call the insurance company directly, they have a fiduciary responsibility to open a claim.
Yep.
Well, a claim, when it's open, whether it's paid or not, is still a claim, and that counts against them. So for most consumers we would talk to, the question we always say is, have you found out what the cost of damage is, an estimate? Obviously a liability claim, different ballgame.
Yeah.
But for like a pipe break or things of that nature, or a smoke kitchen fire. We had one recently where a consumer had it, the damage was only a couple $1,000s.
Right.
Consumer realized that was less than their deductible, and it saved them. That's the idea of what this is really going for. So that's the traditional.
Yep.
Catastrophe ones are a whole different ballgame. I've been in, because of all the high fire stuff we do across California in our programs, I'm in every major fire.
Right.
So I'm sorry to say, it's not a question of if I have a consumer loses his homes. Every time you see the homes that are lost, I'm usually in it. It's some of them are mine. And really, that's a whole different animal. I say this to consumers all the time: losing a home is about as close to losing a family member, a close family member, than you've really could ever speak about or talk about, because you lost everything. If God forbid, right now our homes are burned in a catastrophe, we're wearing what we own.
Right.
We don't even have an extra pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And sometimes people lose their cars, which is part of the auto insurance, but still it's a devastating thing.
Right.
Every bit of memorabilia of your lifetime is gone.
Right.
And so there's a whole other process to it, being able to. We have always specialized in helping getting consumers back on their feet, getting them to the next steps and to turn things around.
Right.
It's really important to be active, because it's very easy to be demoralized when it's a catastrophe claim.
Yeah.
Being on it, getting your house plans through architects, getting things declared total loss, these are all steps that you have to do to keep the pace on a catastrophe.
Right. Well, and you got to find new housing, right? Like, I mean, at every level.
Well, and that's one of the things scary. You can't. This is what, like in the Malibu fire, we had 13 homes that went down.
Yeah.
And we actually certified all 13 within several days of the fire.
Right.
That meant that once you certify as a total loss, you're allowed to get long-term housing.
Right.
So that put all 13 of them in front of everybody else looking for housing.
Right.
And it's just there are whole steps and processes to it.
Right. So if you have something happen that you think is a claim, evaluate it.
Yep.
Right. Depending upon whether it makes sense to make a claim or not, make a claim. Do not try to fix it yourself.
You cannot fix it yourself.
If you start down that road, you will eliminate your coverage.
Yes. There's a clause in all insurance policies that the insurance companies have the right to review and inspect to verify damage.
Right.
So every so often I'll get a consumer that will send me a thing saying, hey Robert, we had a pipe break and it was $100,000 in damage.
Here's the bill.
And here's the bill. And we go, well, the insurance company thanks you because they're not responsible to pay this.
Right.
It's clear, crystal clear for that kind of stuff. It's really, it's a tough situation because you really have to judge what is something that you would want to take care of yourself versus generally as a rule, we would recommend 3 to 4 times the deductible at a minimum. So if your deductible is $5,000, you're going to probably want $10,000 to $15,000 in damage.
Yep.
That's a recommendation that I make personally. It's not saying that's correct.
Right.
The insurance is out there. You know, obviously every consumer, we explain, has the right to file a claim.
Absolutely. You
absolutely have the right to file a claim. You have the absolutely right. There's nothing. We just want to make sure that everyone understands the bigger picture of filing a claim.
Exactly. So if you're in that situation, you need to make those initial analyses. If you do plan to make a claim, you need to reach out to your agent or the company and start that process before you do anything to destroy your coverage.
Yep.
So someone wants to reach out to you, has a question, how do they do that?
It's easy. Robert at wowsinsurance.com. That's Robert at WOWS insurance.com. You can find it on the website, wowsinsurance.com.
Great. Thank you for joining me.
Always.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of Conversations with My Real Friends. We'll see you soon.